What are we doing? Does this show me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's clear.
Shkoyach baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shakol yem b'dvaray.
Amen.
Dav, what does it say? Oh, you know I better.
Oh, it's upside down, that's why.
Is it?
Yeah. No, just turn it this way.
Why is it upside down? Okay, I also have to. Omar Ravashi matam komar matam tiim psula. So we're talking about testing the Techeiles. We're making a whole vat of Techeiles. You take a little bit of the Techeiles out with an eggshell. You paint your Tzitzis. You see if it's the right color. It's the right color, you're good to go. What you shouldn't do is take the leftover in the eggshell and pour it back into the vat. By pouring it back into the vat, you're making the rest of the Techeiles puzzle. Why? Because it needs to be done l'shma, and you taking out that the little amount that you were testing with it, that wasn't l'shma, and by putting it back in, you're missing the l'shma. Ketanoi tiima psula, it's smack in the middle. You don't even have to find the place now because it's in the middle of a sugya. Ketanoi tiima psula mishum shenemar kilil Techeiles. It has to be all for Techeiles. Kilil, all. Divrei Reb Chanina ben Gamliel. What?
First word of the line is clear.
Okay, and we're coming up on the wide lines. Rabbi Yochanan ben Dahava yomer afilu mara sheni shebakosher.
Trick the new guy.
Yeah. We do this. This is the way we treat our new guys. Okay, nice.
Scare me.
It was a great cheer, but it just the words that you said just weren't on the page. There he has a Gemara.
I heard a joke where like two Chaverim were doing that for like 15 years, and then they discovered that was the case after 15 years.
At least you discovered after a minute.
15 seconds.
Okay, great.
Hey, you got one?
Shenemar klud Techeiles Rabbi Chanina ben Gamliel Rabbi Yochanan ben Dahava yomer afilu mara sheni shebakosher mishum shenemar ushni Techeiles. So it says by Big Dik Tehuna, it says Shni Techeiles, which is referring to really the red color, but we could read it Shni as Sheni, and basically it tells us that you could use the vat twice. That's his shita. Okay, now new sugya. That was just to finish up what we learned on Friday. We're in the middle of the word, so we finished it off. But here comes the new sugya. Tana Rabbanan. Techeiles ein lo b'dika. You can't check. There's no way to check Techeiles to see if it's real or not. The Gemara is going to explain what that means. Ve'ein nikachas elo min hamumcha. You can only buy Techeiles from a professional. Why? Because, as we said, Techeiles can be mixed up with indigo, with color ilan, and you have to make sure that you're buying the real deal. You're buying the real Techeiles. So you have to buy it from a professional. Tefillin, yesh lahem bdika. Tefillin, there's a way to check if they're kosher or not. Ve'eni kachin ela min hamumcha. Now, it's interesting because the reason why you could only buy tefillin from a professional tefillin person is because Rashi says you have to make the tefillin l'shma. The parshios have to be on a piece of cloth that was tanned l'shma, and the batim also have to be done l'shma. So you have to make sure you buy from somebody that knows what he's doing. Sfarim u'mezuzos yesh lam bdika. You could check to see if they're kosher, if they're written properly. V'nikachim mikol adam, and you could also buy them from anybody because tefillin and mezuzah, says Rashi, doesn't need l'shma when it comes to the leather part, to the cloth. Ask the Gemara, Techeiles en lo bdika. Why are you telling me that there's no way to check if tzitzis are really Techeiles or not? But Rav Yitzchak b'Reder Rav Yehuda Badiklei, he had a way to check it. Simin big geshem. He put in 4 ingredients. Beis Gimel Shin Mem. Maisei, he brought migabia, gila, Umaya de Shavlilta. He brought some water from fenugreek. Umemi Riglaim, and urine. Ben Arbaimim, 40-day-old urine. I didn't have 40-day-old urine, but I did have show and tell here. Where's my show and tell? Here.
There's that bottle.
We have.
According to the first chapter in Rashi,
Yeah.
he said that it's from a teenage Ben Arbaim.
Right. There is. I was wondering why it's an ant here. There's two pshatim in Rashi, and there's another pshat in Tosfos as well. If it's up to 40 days, simple pshat is you bring urine that's 40 days old. So I guess there's a lot of ammonia. I don't know, some sort of chemical in there, and you bring some other ingredients. Actually, the guys from the Techeiles, what do they call the Techeiles organization factory? He says he did this test. What? Institute, Techeiles Institute. I don't know how he did the test, like what the proportions were of this fenugreek, whatever. But
And the indigo faded?
and this didn't. That's what they say. Okay, it's one of their circumstantial evidence.
In that video, they use bleach or something, and if it doesn't dissolve, like.
You watched the video?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah, very interesting.
Okay. The guy that made the video sent me a free link, but he said it won't work for everybody, just for me. It's a one computer link. I didn't have time.
So you were the one trying to drop the link.
Yeah, it's $4.
I ran to that.
All right.
No one can run to it.
So you use some sort of, like in those days, it was the bleach of those days, and v'torle begavayu mi'urtovat litzafra. We're holding the Mem Gimel on an Aleph on the top. You put this. You put your tzitzis right into this concoction. Ibrid chazusei psula. If it fades, you don't have the real deal. It's not Techeiles from a snail. It's Techeiles. It's the fake thing that comes from indigo. Lo yibrid chazusa kshera. And if it stays, it adheres. One of the things that the Rambam always talks about in Techeiles is that it has to be blue that sticks. It seems like from him that could be any blue as long as it like really stays. It doesn't really matter what snail, what kind of thing. That's how some people want to learn. But anyways, it's kosher. There's another test. We're still in the question here. You're telling me that there's no test for Techeiles. Here, we have a test. Then there's another test. You take very strong, what is it called? Yeast. From barley, hard barley yeast. And you bake it inside this yeast. If it becomes like stronger and better, it's kosher. It's from a chilazon. And if something fades on it, it's possible. V'simonach shinui sheker shinui emes. Not exactly sure why the Gemara needs a simon, but anyways, if it's bad, it's bad. If it's good, it's good. So now the Gemara says. So we have a question. At the end of the day, we have a test, and the Gemara before said there's no test. Mayen lo b'diko nami de'koamar atima. Says the Gemara, what we meant to say that there's no test to see if somebody used this as a test, the original test. In the factory, when they're testing the Techeiles to see if it's good, if it adheres, they do a test. And we said that you can't take the leftover, whatever you were testing, can't take it and put it back into the vat. That will passel the whole vat. Now, obviously, there's no test in the world that could see if you used it as a test or didn't use it as a test. I'm using the word test there, it's confusing. There's the test in the factory and there's the test later on to see if Techeiles fades or not. So to use the second test, the fading test, doesn't help me to see if I was kosher in the factory, if I took my sample and poured it back into the vat. Or another pshat would be, let's say I used the sample on tzitzis, and I said, oh, it sticks. Now I go and I want to sell that tzitzis. I can't sell that tzitzis because it wasn't on lishma. So no test in the world will tell me if it was lishma or not. That's what I mean, there's no test.
That's the reason why you can't put because of the drinking? Is it
What?
The reason the tzima you can't put back is because it wasn't done lishma?
Yeah, yeah.
Not because
But I don't understand. He produced the whole batch
Yeah,
to make Techeiles.
right.
So that was done lishma.
No.
Then he withdrew a bit.
No, the shma, there's no shma on the batch. The batch is a batch. But what he did was he took it out. You're asking why the batch is ruined from the not lishma?
If you test it,
So I understand the other pshat a lot you understand if he tested on the piece of Techeiles, that you understand is a Lishma problem, right?
It's a dying that has to be done Lishma, not the making of it.
Right.
It's a dying.
Meaning that when they were making it, they have to check to see if the color is correct.
So, I mean, if they
Yeah.
put the tzitzis that they made back,
Yeah, but that's not what they're doing. They're pouring it back in. Rashi says they pour it back in.
They're putting the beggar back.
When you, correct, when you bake the wall before it.
Where was it?
Rashi says.
He's taking out a small bit.
Rashi says on Amud Beis, Rashi says, Im iyot seva nisoyim biyoyra, posel is kol hayoyra.
You've tested it, you've dyed something.
The whole barrel. You have a whole barrel. If you take a little bit of the testing sample and pour it back into the barrel, Rashi says it ruins the whole barrel. He wants to know why.
maybe because you took it out of test and you invalidated your lishma.
How? He's asking how. The vat was made lishma,
Okay, but
and
you're
you,
using it for testing, so much
but you didn't use that part. You didn't use that part. That was left
that
over.
whole sample was
I took a sample. Here's my sample. This is left
that was taken, that
over.
wasn't intended to be used for tzitzis. It was used to test.
It wasn't the.
So you invalidate a lishma by taking it out of the barrel, maybe?
They were looking for the color.
Okay.
Testing.
Where? On the base?
The color, then they made the rest of the census with it. The first stage when they were making it for the color to get it right.
Right, I said that. You had an Ivruv, but that's in the vat. That's in the... Okay. That's when he's making the... You're saying when he's... This is something else. Pouring it back in.
That's why what's in there is puzzle, and when you pour what's puzzle back into the whole.
Why is it puzzle?
Because you used it for testing.
He didn't use it for testing. He only used what poured out of his cup. What poured out of the eggshell is what he used for
He
testing.
used the eggshell to soak the tzitzis in, and dip the tzitzis into it. That's,
So you're saying that tzitzis... Oh, so you're saying that tzitzis were sitting in the
That's how
dye.
you do it.
And that's the pshat of kolil that it's left over. Okay, that makes sense.
What's left in the egg is puzzle. When you pour it back in,
Because it was all part of the tzitzis. It was dyeing the tzitzis, and there was the leftover.
when you pour it back
You have this, right? This is your dye. You take your tzitzis, you put it in here, into the whole cup. Then you pull out your tzitzis, and it's blue. But you still have leftover that touched your tzitzis. It was all part of it. It was all part of the process of testing.
It can't be used for the next bunch.
It can't be used for the next. Not only can't it be used for the next bunch, according to one shita, but if you pour this into a giant barrel, 25-gallon barrel, you just ruined the 25 gallons.
No butter b'shisha.
Why don't they make
No bottle machine, exactly. This is what we discussed on Friday. There's no what?
Make a whole batch of lishma.
They do, but then afterwards they take out a little bit and they test the tzitzis, and that ruins whatever they were testing. The testing material becomes ruined. Okay, let's go weiter. Says the Gemara. Now, so the Gemara said that we're talking about te'ima, and that's why you can't test it. Says the Gemara, Mar Mimashki, there's a name of a person, it comes from a city, Mimashki. I see Techeiles b'shnei Ravachai. He brought Techeiles. Now, by the way, Ravachai came after the Amoraim. So here's a raya that they had Techeiles in the Rabbanim Tzavroi. He came, they inserted him into the Gemara in later years. He lived after Rav Ashi. But Kua, but the Rav Yitzchok, Berei the Rav Yehuda, he used test number 1, the urine test. V'iprit chazusei. And when he tested it, it actually faded. So then he took it again, but the Rav Ada, and then he used test number 2, v'ishtari l'mel yusa, and it actually became better. Savar l'mifsala. So they said we should pass it. Why? Because it failed test number 1. It doesn't matter if it didn't fail test number 2. As long as one of the 2 tests failed, that means it's not real Techeiles.
Isn't he saying the whole test? The whole process is invalid.
No.
Simon, we must have it wrong because in the one case it came out.
That's not what he's saying, though.
Other case it came.
So listen to the end of the Gemara. You'll see. So Rabbi said, "Elaha lo tcheltehi v'lo kalilani." So obviously, we're talking about a product that's not neither Techeiles nor kalilan because it failed the test. It can't be Techeiles. It can't be from the chilazin because then it wouldn't fail test number 1, and it can't be kalilan either because then it would fail test number 2. Elish mamina. So listen to this. The new chiddush. Shmuasa hadadi yidmar. Test number 1 and test number 2 are both the same thing. They're a continuation of each other. Heichad bedakno b'the Rav Yitzchok b'reder of Yehuda if you do test number 1, lo ibrat chazusei kshera. If it doesn't fail, that it still adheres, then you know that you got good Techeiles. Ibrat chazusei, if it failed test number 1, so you say to yourself, I don't like this test, let me try another test. So you have a way out of it. It's a little cheating, but if you don't like the results of the first test, there's always another test to do. But so then you can use test number 2, which is using the yeast. Ishtani, you get a second chance. Ishtani l'mal yusuk sheira l'gri yusuk psula, and then if it's good, then it's kosher, even though it failed test number 1. If it's no good, failed 2 tests in a row, then you know for sure you have pasul Techeiles. Sholchum yutam. So they sent shmuasa hadadi yitmar. So actually it said from in Eretz Yisrael, they said, yeah, this is exactly how we learned. Both tests are dependent on each other. They're actually, one is a backup to the other. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Money. The Nemukei Yosef says Rabbi Money, and it fits very well in the Gemara. He actually was a soicher of Techeiles. This is what he did for a living. He sold Techeiles. Says the Gemara, Doyek v'zavin kechumri masniyasa. When he sold, he was makbid to make sure that there's no problems of te'ima. It says that if you test it, then that becomes pasul. So therefore, he only bought from a professional. So somebody told him, Hachi Ovid Kamoy de Kamach, and this is what they did in the previous generations. Va'aslach iskayu. I saw somebody bring down that there's a Gemara in Pesachim that says that if you sell Techeiles for profit, you're never going to make money. So what he's saying is, but you, like a sofer, or Milamet Tinoikos, but you'll be matzliach because you're makbid on all the chumras, you'll be okay, you'll make money.
Why not do the second test only?
So they speak about it because it's still, again, it's not going to be, it's not as, I don't think it's as conclusive as the first. You're saying the first anyways is not, yeah.
Maybe if the first one works and the second one doesn't.
They discuss it, it's discussed. I don't know if it's Eliyahu Navi. Over here also they say it's Eliyahu Navi?
Maybe it's one or the other.
Okay.
Either one is good.
It's I mean most of Shas when it says Ahusov it means Eliyahu Navi, but not every time do they bring it down or think it is. So I don't know. Okay, Torah Rabbana. Halikeach talis mitziyasis min hashuk. If you buy a talis, it's not talking about the tzitzis themselves. It's talking about a whole talis with the tzitzis. Mi Yisrael harei b'chazkasa. If you buy from a Jew, it doesn't matter. You go into any Jew. You go into what's it called over there? The Techeiles store. It's good. If you buy from a guy, so it depends. Minatagar, if he's a businessman, this is what he does. He buys and sells stuff. Kshera. Minahedyoy psula. Why? A guy that buys and sells, he has a reputation, and he doesn't want to ruin his reputation on your talis. So therefore, he makes sure that what he sells you is it's a good product, it's good Techeiles. Now, the question is, what kind of seicher is he? What if, I'm asking you guys, what if he sells ice cream for a living? And he just happens to get, somebody gave him a pair of tzitzis. Could you buy from him? Probably not. But the Beis Yosef says yes. A businessman has a reputation, doesn't matter what business, and even if he doesn't sell tzitzis for a living, if he's selling it to you, you could trust him because he doesn't want you to think that he's lying about other stuff as well.
So as long as he doesn't sell it privately. If he sells it,
It doesn't sell on your time.
but if he sells it as a private individual, he sells it.
Where did you get that from? I don't know.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
It's his reputation.
A reputation is a reputation.
He's got his shop where he doesn't sell normally. It's like he puts this on once, then his reputation as a businessman will be ruined if.
Okay. They say the halacha is you're not allowed to sell a tzitzis to a goy. You have to undo the tzitzis. I was actually when I was a bachar, I learned this halacha. I was buying a sefer in Mei Sharim, and a bunch of goyim came in. They wanted to buy talaisim. He was going to make a good profit. He said, "No, I don't have talaisim. I can't sell." And he told me in Yiddish. He says, "I can't." And he told me this Gemara. He told me the second part. You're going to see the first part is I guess I was a yeshiva bach. You don't want to tell me the first part. Why? My taima. Hachet targimu mishum zayna. So there's two pshatim in Rashi. One pshat is hard to understand. Rashi says we're worried that the zayna is a Jewish woman, and if a guy has tzitzis, she'll think he's Jewish, and she'll be with a guy, and you're not allowed to be with a guy. So we're worried. It's unbelievable to understand. We were worried about a Jewish woman who does averos all day long. She might do another avera called being with a guy. Which the other problem is that's not such a big deal, not really such a big deal, but the avera is to marry a guy. The avera is not to be with a guy one time. So that's why it's hard to understand the first pshat in Rashi. The second pshat in Rashi is that it could be a goyish zayna. That makes a lot of sense. That if a Jew gives her a talis, she'll come back to the Jewish community. She'll say, look, she'll make up a story about any Jew she wants, and she'll go, look, this is what I got from the Jew. Sort of what Tamar did. You know, you pull out a talis, where do you think I got this from? I had a client, a Jewish client, and she'll ruin his reputation. So that's why you don't give a guy a talis.
And there was a case of tefillin, no? In brachas, where some people left his tefillin, but they used to put them in the holes, and
Rav Yehuda Amar, Shema Yislav ve'imoy baderech v'yargen. What?
It's not a normal case of livnei iver, that if you sell it to them, then it's going to cause some avera somewhere down the line.
Just.
Because if it wasn't a livnei iver, it would be mutter, because you could buy it in another store.
Trever the Nara.
It's trever the Nara, and there's all sorts of material.
Yeah.
If a guy comes into a shop and wants to buy a sefer, and he can buy it somewhere on
But if nobody sells them, nobody sells them.
There's no livnei iver.
Right.
But so this seems to be
It was before the internet days.
This seems to be a special xavier which Chazal instituted specifically for this.
But here, this one is really bad. Rav Yehuda Amar, Shema Yislav ve'imoy baderech v'yargenu. If a guy could dress up, and you know what? I just realized. You know, unfortunately, we had in terrorist things. You had the terrorist. One terrorist thing. They had a film bag in the car, and the guy thought it was a Jewish car, and he went in. And that's pretty much what this is. If the guy wears a towel, he'll put on a towel, he'll go with the guy, and then he'll kill him on the way. It seemed to be a big chashad in those days, getting killed on the way. We had the whole Gemara in Avodah Zarah, where if you go with a guy, you put him on your left, you put him on your right. Depends if he has a sword, has a gun, whatever it is. But the people are busy killing each other on the ways. What?
You also have to bench Goma when you're traveling, and it says like Nikamara, like anyone who just ships merchandise, it's also like crazy.
Well, that was they had the guys in the way, the listim. Fine. Says the Gemara, Rav Yehuda Rami Techelto Geshmak Sugis over here. Don't get too used to it. We're about to get back into Menachos soon. Rav Yehuda Rami Techelto the Parzuma Din Shebeisa. Rav Yehuda used to put on Techeiles for his wife's clothing. Umevarech called Safra, and every single morning he would make a bracha l'sativ b'tzitzis. That's what we do today. We make a bracha every day. We don't put a tzitzis on our wife's gadim. So the Gemara has a kasha. Midrami, if he put his tzitzis on, he put tzitzis on his wife's clothing, kasavar mitzvahs hasei shalei azman gromahu. Obviously, he holds that tzitzis is not dependent on a certain time. You have to wear tzitzis even at night.
Like the Lubavitchers do.
Amay mevarach called Safra v'Safra. What? They wear tzitzis at night?
Yeah. Lubavitchers wear tzitzis day and night, even in bed.
And they don't sleep in the sukkah, so I don't know how that works. At night. But they wear tzitzis at home on whatever, okay.
Why doesn't his wife wear tzitzis? He couldn't explain it.
Or what?
Why doesn't his wife wear tzitzis? According to him, it's not.
Oh, no, but they don't hold that it's a time at night. They just are makbid. People wear the yarmulke at night also. That's not a kasha. Okay. What, to wear at night? Yeah.
Why didn't she put on the tzitzis herself? Did she disagree?
She didn't know how to tie it.
Yes, she.
Did she hold that she can't wear?
I know. I hear what you're asking. You're asking since she's mechuyev, so then she can do it herself, and the lishma she can be yaitz the lishma also. Why do you need him to do it? Good, I hear. Kasavar mitzvahs say shalei azman gramu, and if he holds mitzvahs say shalei azman gramu, my mevarach kol tzafra. So now, if you're mechuyev on tzitzis, if you're mechuyev tzitzis at night also, so then why would he make a new bracha every day? he should just make a bracha if there's some sort of break in between. But since you mechuyev all day and all night, so what is the point of making a bracha every day?
Yeah, if you took it off.
Yeah.
Never finished.
Maybe we were sleeping.
But even if you took it off, there's a 2-hour break that you're allowed to take. That's the halacha. Even today, if you wear a talis and you take it off, 2-hour break. The Mishnah Berurah says. Says the Gemara, Kerebi. The Sa'yat Tefillin Kozman Sheminichon Mevarach Aleim Divri Rebbe. Okay, so he holds like a Rebbe. Every time you put them on, you make a bracha. So you put it on in the morning. You made a bracha. Yachi Kol Shata Nami. So maybe you should make a bracha every hour, every time he puts it on. Why only in the morning? Rav Yehuda Inish Tzniya Havi. He was a very private person. He was very tzniisdik. He never took off his clothing, so he only did it once. Now I'm going to read the next 3 words and tell me what the pshat is. How do you learn pshat here? Umayshna mitzafra. Okay, so then why in the morning? How do you learn pshat? What's the kasha?
Why does he make a bracha in the morning?
Why not?
He never takes it off. You
Oh.
just said he never changes his clothing, right?
Oh, so that's what I would think. So look at Rashi, unbelievable Rashi. This Rashi you have to see inside. Umayshna tzafra levarech kishu oimed umisatev b'bashmoris koydem hayoim legirsei. So Rashi says, unbelievable. Rashi says it has to be that he woke up way before the morning, because this is Rav Yehuda we're talking about. There's no way in the world that Rav Yehuda got up by nets. He had to get up way before nets. To learn Torah, Rashi says. Legirsei, to learn Torah. So then why in the world did he make a bracha then? Why didn't he make a bracha when he got up? Why did he wait until then? But he could. It's time for a tzitzis. You could make a bracha. It's 24 hours. If tzitzis is 24 hours a day, he holds that it's 24 hours, and he woke up before the morning. But it's unbelievable how Rashi understood this. That it had to be that he got up way, like 3 in the morning. Fine. Says the Gemara, and by the way, as we're going to see, where am I? Oh, so really he had 2 bgadim. They both had tzitzis. He had pajamas and he had a regular clothing. In the morning, when he made the bracha, was the period of time where he changed out his clothing. When he changed his clothing, that's when he made his bracha. Fine. Right. He's learning in pajamas. Torah Rabbana. Hakol chayov mitzitzis. Everybody has to wear tzitzis. What?
Made a bracha also at night for his pajamas?
Oh, very good kasha. So the Rosh asked you kasha. So the Rosh says, obviously he never changes his night beged.
He kept the night beged.
He kept the night beged and he just wears his day on. It's like his on. It's like a lighter, undershirt. Yeah, that's what the Rosh says.
You had 2 pairs of tzitzis.
Yeah, he wore 2 begadim.
You
Yeah.
always keep using the night one.
Right, and I'm assuming that when he washed his night one, it was during the day. When he ready, so it wasn't like he took it off at night. It's not like he took it off night and day. Fine.
You do every day.
Torah Rabbanon, Agol Chayovim b'tzitzis. Everybody has to wear tzitzis. Kohanim Levim v'Yisraelim. It doesn't matter if you're Kohen Levi in Yisrael, Gerim, Noshim, Va'avodim. Everybody, even women, have to wear tzitzis, says the Gemara. Reb Shimon pointed to Noshim, but Reb Shimon says like we do today, Noshim don't have to wear tzitzis. Since you can't wear it at night, he holds Laila is not the time for tzitzis. Therefore, the Zman is Gorim. V'chol mitzvah say Shazman Groma Noshim Pturos. It's negea to tomorrow. Sukkah is dependent on a specific time of the year. A woman is not chayev, and a lulav as well. She's not chayev. But if she wants to, she could sit in the sukkah. If she wants to, she could take a lulav. So what if she wants to wear tzitzis, or like Rashi's daughter, she wants to wear tefillin? She could. But it's brought down in the Ramah that she shouldn't because it's yuara, it's showing off, it's gaiva. They shouldn't. But really, I've never seen it, but if they want to, I guess they can. Omar Mar.
Conservative.
Oh, it actually does look a little weird when they wear it.
I'm not sure how the woman was told the story, but some woman came to one of the Gedolim
Yeah.
and said she really feels she needs to wear tzitzis. She really wants to wear tzitzis.
Yeah.
So he said, if you really feel like it, I'll give you a shot to wear tzitzis, but please wear them underneath. Don't have them underneath your skirt or whatever you're wearing. And she said, what's the point of that? He said,
Yeah.
"Oh, There's the answer.
Yeah, that's fine. He wasn't really doing the schwa. He wanted to,
I had
Zog the Gemara.
where the four corners were out. They said, just do it stage by stage. Yeah. She said, oh, I feel so holy when you're
Zog the Gemara. Omar. So we said this. Now, so as the Gemara, Omar Mar kol chayim b'tzitzis koyanim living Yisraelim, they all have to wear a kohen levi Yisrael. Pshita, of course. Di koyanim living Yisraelim p'tirim man l'chayiv. The Torah says you have to wear tzitzis. The only type of Jew is a kohen levi Yisrael. There's not a fourth type. So if those three have to wear it, of course those three have to wear it. What's the chiddush? Kohanim itzrichelei. I would think that kohanim are different. That's the drushes we had the other days. It says the parsha of shatnez. Then right away it says gdilim tasalach. You should wear tzitzis. Somebody that never has the right to wear klayim has to wear tzitzis, which is Yisrael. But a kohen who in the avneit, some of his big dekuna have klayim in it, so maybe they shouldn't have to be wearing tzitzis. Komash malon. That what? The nihi, the ishtari b'idan avodah. They're allowed to wear klayim during the avodah in the Beis Medrash. And therefore, everybody, even a kohen, has to wear tzitzis. Rabbi Shimon pointed ben Oshim.
Even during the avodah.
I would think that.
No, not during the avodah. You can't wear, because then it's not, then, right. They don't wear. That would be too many begadim. What? No, the pshita is, I would think that a kohen is potter, kamash is chayiv. That's it. And then the Yisrael and the Levi is ag of the kohen. It just says them all.
Even though Korah,
Where do they get dressed?
asks about a talis, that
Techeiles.
Techeiles.
Yeah.
You say, you're just asking Shaila on Torah, not. I wouldn't think that Kohanim are Mechuyev and Tzitzis. I still wouldn't think that Kohanim are Mechuyev and Tzitzis.
You mean because he was a Levi?
Levi, yeah.
10 minutes. Okay. Rabbi Shimon pointed ben Oshim. My time in the Rabbi Shimon. Why did Rabbi Shimon say that women are potter? So now it goes through the drushes. The Sanyo Reisa Moisa, we're saying Kriya Shema, you should see the tzitzis. Prat Lixus Laila. It comes to exclude. We have one exclusion. Reisa Moisa, that anything that's at night you don't really see it well. You don't wear tzitzis according to him. Atoimer Prat Lixus Laila, Yenel Prat Lixus Suma. Maybe it's coming to exclude a blind man's begadim. Since he can't see it, he doesn't have to wear tzitzis. It's an exclusion. It means everything. Anything that you put on, you're mechuyev tzitzis. So we have a miut and we have a ribui. On the one hand, we say it comes to be mimayit, something you see, and it could be either nighttime or a blind person. And then we have something that says to include everything. So it could either include a blind person or to include nighttime beged. So we decided we're going to include the blind person's beged. Why did you decide to be marba a blind person rather to be marba the night beged? Other people could see it. So what if other people could see it? Because it says a reason moisoi. You should see it. So since other people could see the beged of a blind person, so he should be chayiv in it. But nobody could see the night beged. Your pajamas, it's dark for everybody. Nobody, the whole world can't see it. So mela, that you're potter and tzitzis. Turn the page. So what do Rabbanon do with this extra drasha asher techasaba? It says in the Torah you should put tzitzis if you have 4 corners. What if you have 3? You don't do tzitzis. Says the Gemara, how do you know that? Maybe it comes to say the opposite. If you have 5, that's the sugi we had a couple days ago. If you have 5 corners, you shouldn't put tzitzis. How do you know it comes to exclude 3 corners? So Asher Techasa comes to say, if you have 5 corners, you also have to put on tzitzis. How many tzitzis do you put on 5 corners? How many?
4.
Depends who you hold like. That's the machlekes we had a few days ago. I just was testing if anybody did chazara. If you hold like Rabbi Shmuel, that it's an individual mitzvah each one. So if you have 5 corners, you put on 5 tzitzis. But if you hold like Rabbanan, okay, most of you hold like Rabbanan, obviously. So if you hold like Rabbanan, even on 5 corners, you only put 4 tzitzis.
Why is each corner 5 minutes?
You missed the whole sugya. Where were you? No. Rabbi Shmuel says it's in the Mishnah actually. He says each one is individual mitzvah. So the Gemara says l'may nafkamina. No. He says each tzitz is in the individual mitzvah. So the Gemara says l'may nafkamina. The Gemara says 4 nafkaminas. One of them was if you have a beggar with 5 corners. Says Rashi that according to him you would have to put it on 5 corners, and according to Rabbanan you don't. Weiter, we got to finish. I mean, we could go all night. We don't have any carpool now, but we really got to. The new guy's going to think that we go over time, so we have to hurry up here. Zod Gemara. Umari Isa l'Rabbi's balas chomesh loyitzi balas shalish. Why do you decide to exclude 5? To include 5 and say this chayiv b'tzitzis, but to say 3 you're not chayiv. Marbani balas chomesh yesh b'chlal chomesh arba. It makes a lot of sense logically because every 5-corner garment has 4 corners in it, which 4 you're chayiv on. So mela you should be chayiv also on 5. Umoitani balas shalish shem b'chlal shalish arba. But you can't say that 3 should be chayiv because 3 is not 4. You only chayiv when you get to 4. So mela makes a lot of sense. 3 should be potter, 5 should be chayiv. Rabbi Shimon who said before that Asher Techeiles comes to tell us that a suma, a blind person is potter. Me Asher, so he already uses it up. So how does he know this halacha we just learned? Me Asher nafka, from the extra Asher. Asher, it could have said l'maisa something like shetechasa. Why does it say Asher techasa? So he has the extra word. Rabbanan Asher le'mashmalu. No, you don't learn such a word. It flows much nicer with Asher techasa. So that's why the Torah put in the extra word Asher. You can't make a drasha from that extra word. Rabbanan hay reisim oisay may avdelay. What do Rabbanan do with the reisim oisay? So now the Gemara gives us a few options what we could do with the reisim. Look at the Sanya. He learns from reisim oisay that it comes to exclude the night garment. Rabbanan say that night you're chayev in tzitzis. So if you're chayiv in tzitzis, what do they do with the reisim? So I'll tell you what they do with reisim. A bunch of good things. First of all, ureisim oisay uzachartem. From seeing, you remember. What? Re'ei mitzvah zu, you see the mitzvah of tzitzis, uzachar mitzvah acheres, hatluye ba. And you'll remember another mitzvah that's connected to it. Veize zu Kriya Shema. You'll remember Kriya Shema. Desna me'mosai korenes Shema b'shachris, mishiyakir bein Techeiles l'lavan. Unbelievable. This is the first time I actually understood the Gemara. Rashi doesn't really understand it, and Tzitzis points it out. But now, the first Mishnah in Brachas, differentiating between Techeiles and Lavan, right? How do you understand it? You take a piece of Techeiles, now you look at your Tzitzis. It's at night. I'm serious. And Tzitzis points it out. Rashi says Techeiles Shabbat. He says a little different, but now it makes a lot of sense. You pick up your Tzitzis, could you see the difference between Techeiles and Lavan? First time I understood it. What?
Rashi didn't have to.
Right. You didn't have Techeiles, so you're saying Techeiles Shabbat, a piece there. Fine. Zod the Gemara. So you remember Kriya Shema. V'tanya yidach, and another pshat, ureisim oisoi uzachartem re'ei mitzvah zu, uzchor mitzvah acheres hasmuchalo. You'll remember another mitzvah that's right afterwards, v'eiz zoi, zu mitzvahs klayim, d'chsiv lo'tilba shatnes tzemer u'pishim yachtov, gedilim taselach. Tanya yidach, another thing you can learn, ureisim oisoi uzachartem is kol mitzvahs Hashem, kivin shen ischayev adam b'mitzvah zu, ischayev b'chol mitzvahs kulon. So, two pshatim in Rashi, when you become 13, and you're chayiv in tzitzis, you're chayiv in all the Torah. Or when it's in the morning and you're chayiv in the first mitzvah, you put on tzitzis, then you're chayiv in everything else. Reb Shimoni, Domar mitzvah sasei shazman gromi. So this third pshat doesn't go. We're trying to figure out what Rabbanan do with the reis and moisoi. This doesn't go according to Rabbanan. This only goes according to Reb Shimon that I'm mechulik on Rabbanan. It's interesting. The Gemara just stuck it in here because it's something you can remember from tzitzis. But
so this shows that it goes according to the first pshat in Rashi.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so they talk about that as well. Tan yidach, urizim hoysa yizachartem is kol mitzvahs Hashem. Shkula mitzvah zu keneged kol mitzvahs kulon. Tzitzis is equal to all the mitzvahs. Anybody remember how tzitzis is equal to all the mitzvahs? Huh? That's the 7. Good. Okay, tzitzis itself is 600, and 13 is how? How do you get to 13? 5 knots and 8 strings. Very good. Tzitzis is 600. 5 knots plus 8 strings is 613. That's why Shkula mitzvah zu keneged kol mitzvah kulon. Rashi brings it down over here as well. What? Shin is 2 shins is 600.
You have 7. No.
Oh, shaka no.
7. It's 3 and 1 7 4 on the other.
Oh, yeah. Very good. No, but it's 14. Shakai, the shin dalid yud is 14. So 614.
No.
2 shins is 600 and dalid yud, the dalid on the kesher and the yud on the kesher. So that's 614 minus. You got to do a minus here somehow. Minus the koilo. Okay.
And sheish, and it's 7.
Right.
What?
2 shins and 7.
One is four lines, one's 3 lines.
Yeah.
That's 7. And sheish, together sheish is 13.
6, 7, and 600.
Oh, okay, that's a whole different story.
What?
Okay.
The sheish is
Fine.
600.
Yeah.
And then you have 7 lines from the sheish.
My thing is much better. You do 614, and because one shin is missing a line, so you take off 1 from the whole thing. It's supposed to be really, the other shin was supposed to be 4. Okay. We said this. Shkula Keneged Zu said. This is a very big yisoid in life, Rabbi Isai. When you see something, then you remember it, and if you remember it, you do it. So if somebody, let's say, has a Kabbalah, using Kabbalah on Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, so the best thing is you write it down, and then you see it, and then you do it. If you just say in your head, "Oh, I'm going to be Kabbalah," then a lot of times it flies out the window. So Re'iyah meviyah le'izchira, zechira meviyah chas Hashem, zechira meviyah le'asiyah. And by remembering it, you do it. Reb Shimon ben Yochai Omer, kol hazoros b'mitzvah zu, somebody that's very careful with this mitzvah, zoicha u'mekav p'nei shechina. If you go out and you buy Techeiles for yourself, you use zorez, mekav p'nei shechina, ksiv hacha u're'isa moisoi. I knew you're going to make a macha. I knew it. U're'isa moisoi u'ksiv hasam es Hashem alakecha tira v'oisoi savoid. It says u're'isa moisoi. You should see the tzitzis. What's oisoi? So by the other pasuk it says Hashem alakecha tira v'oisoi savoid. You should worship Him. So meaning oisoi means HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And then it says u're'isa moisoi. You shall see Him. Who's Him? You'll see Hashem if you're careful with the mitzvah. Tara Rabbanu Chavim Yisrael. Klal Yisrael is beloved. Shesibivam HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'mitzvahs. Hashem surround them with mitzvahs. Tefillin b'roshayim u'tefillin b'zurayisayim. They have tefillin everywhere. U'tzitzis b'bigdayim u'mezuzah lepischayim. They have a mezuzah on the door. V'aleim Omar David. David HaMelech said, Sheva bayoim hilalticha al mishpatei tzidkecha. 7 things I give you hallow for. What's the 7? 2 tefillin. 4 tzitzis, 4 corners is 6, and mezuzah is 7. The question is, why does the Gemara count tzitzis as 4? According to Rabbi Shmuel, okay. And later on, we're going to see that the Gemara only counts it as 1.
Tefillin is also 1 mitzvah. It's counting it.
No, it's 2 brachas. Okay, it's 1, but one is not makif the other. When David HaMelech came into the Beis Medrash, he realized he's naked and he doesn't have tefillin on, he doesn't have tzitzis. Omar oili, and there's probably no mezuzah in the Beis Medrash. Omar oili she'emod oram beloy mitzvah. What am I going to do? I have no mitzvahs. V'kivin sheniskar b'mila shebepsoroi nisyas v'dartoi. He realized he has a bris milah, so he was good. La'achar sheyotza Omar oleh shiro shenemar lamnatzeach al hashminis mizmor leDavid. Al Mila Shanitna Bashmini, there's 2 pshatim here. Either it means the Mila that was given that you do on the 8th day, or it's the 8th mitzvah in the Torah. I had a shayla here. So then why did he say Sheva B'yom Milalticha? Why praise Hashem on 7 mitzvahs when in fact he had 8 mitzvahs? He had the Mila. So he didn't realize he made a mistake. So I asked my chavru. So he Yididya says that because Mila it was against his will. These are mitzvahs that he's doing because he loves Hashem. He was born. Oh, Rabbi Yeshua is here. Wow. What dedication. What dedication. Givaldik. Anyways, and I saw the Marsha actually, he says a little better. He says, Lamnatseach al hashminis, that the 8th one beat everything else. The 8th one is the Menatzeach. Because without that, going to the Beis HaMerchatz, I need the 8th one. Rebbe Lezer ben Yaakov Omer, Kol sheyesh le'tfilin b'roisho, tefillin b'zroiv, it says b'bigdoi, u'mezuzah b'pischo, if you have tefillin on your hand and everything, you have tzitzis and mezuzah, hakol b'chizik sh'leyechta. Chazaka, you're not going to have a chait. Tomorrow we're going to see the most amazing story, a very famous story about how tzitzis saved somebody from a big avera. But over here, l'chayre means when you're literally wearing tefillin, not because you wore tefillin in shachars and you put it into your tefillin bag, but if you're wearing tefillin, you're wearing tzitzis, like the chronics, then it saves you from chet. Shenemar v'achut ha-meshulosh lo b'meher yinatek. You see, over here Rashi says v'achut ha-meshulosh, meaning, this food. He more considers tzitzis 1, tefillin 2, and mezuzah.
No, tefillin 1.
Tefillin 1, mezuzah 1.
Right, that's what I mean. Right, that's what I said. Tefillin 1, I mean number 2. Tefillin is 1 mitzvah, mezuzah is 1, and tefillin is 1, and tzitzis is 1.
Is this not the special thing that they use to say that there's a soul and it's tied down to the body? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
There's another Gemara that says that, where it's like
We'll get there
soul
eventually.
thread.
When we get there, you'll say,
Right, but is it not the
I have
same
no
thing?
idea. I have no idea.
So have in mind if the same lashon.
By the way, that
Okay,
can be
well-
an answer to your question.
The what?
If that is one of the David's Sheva was that, and I have these mitzvahs, I'm protected from averos.
Oh,
Right. So that's why he didn't include the Mila.
why not?
What's that?
Oh, you mean because every Jew would be protected all time anyways? And this is special mitzvahs. That fits into my Chavrus's Torah. It's more, because these are active mitzvahs that he's doing. Hold on, we gotta go. Rabbi, so we gotta move a little bit. Today was a little bit too. There weren't a lot of props. There's a lot of good kashas. Soviv means the things that you're surrounded with, and the malach will save you because you're surrounded by mitzvahs. Tanya, why is Techeiles blue? Why is it not a different color? Techeiles is similar to the ocean. Says Rashi. So what if it's similar to the ocean? Thank you. Because that's it. Because the nisim on the yam, says Rashi. Not just we always say Techeiles doim yam. So what? Gishmaka Rashi. You have to remember the nisim on the ocean. Remember the nisim on the water that we had. The yam doim l'rikia, and the ocean is similar to the sky. V'rikia lekisei hakovid, and the sky is similar in color to the kisei hakovid, the chair that Hakadosh Baruch Hu sits on. Shenemar v'sachas raglav k'masei livna asaper uketzim hashamayim l'toyar. Moshe Rabbeinu went up and he saw that under the chair there's a stone that was similar to the Shemayim. Uksiv k'mari even asaper d'mus kisei, and similar to the coloration or the tzura of the stone was Hashem's cheer. So you see that the cheer is the same color as the sky. If you don't wear white strings, it's worse off. You guys are okay so far. It's worse not to wear white than to wear blue. It's bad not to wear blue, but it's not the end of the world. It's worse not to wear white. I'll give you a mashal. A king told 2 of his servants, go bring me a seal of plaster, clay. And the other one he said, give me a seal of gold. Now, what are these seals? These seals, the slaves used to have seals to show that he was a slave. So he said, he told one guy to bring him something that's very common, clay. The other one, go bring me a seal that's made out of gold. It's very difficult. And neither of them brought it to him. Who has a bigger oynish? The person that has the easier job and he didn't bring, he gets punished more. But today, that a Mishkan Chelas, you can get blue as easy as white. It's a little bit different of a situation. Oh, it's expensive, it's easy to get. Look at Tzitzis for a second. It's very nice Tzitzis. Tzitzis the Ramaskin, Chosim Shaltit. The reason why the Gemara makes a mashal between a seal of tit to tzitzis, tzitzis made al Yisrael shem avdei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzitzis is a sign that we are slaves to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Gewaldig. Says the Gemara weiter.
So,
Yeah. Should we start this tomorrow? I'm just thinking. Yeah? Okay, let's do it tomorrow. A gute Woche. Yeah, you could hit that.
Which part, what's it called? Which,
אני סתם, אני לא כל כך אוחז. I'm not like, I'm סתם להחס כזה. This, not Rebbe, not Rebbe.
I'm taking you seriously.
I just, the Rebbe thing, I'm not so sure. I don't like the whole, I'm not